For millennia, humanity plundered the Earth, but a cosmic punishment was about to arrive. A meteorite strikes the planet from space. This is the day the disaster began. News reports confirm the meteorite is an alien seed. Humanity's weapons are completely ineffective against it. The seed releases a pollen that covers the globe, triggering a terrifying, regressive evolution. The world devolves into a primordial nightmare. The disaster resets the entire food chain. Now everything is fighting for the top spot. Amid the ruins, a young woman runs for her life. A monstrous predator lunges, its jaws wide open. Her desperate cries for help echo in the ruins. Just as hope is lost, lethal spikes fly past. A storm of bullets rains down on the creature. The rescuer is Captain Ualay of the Dragon Claw team. With blade in hand, he issues a critical warning. Humanity evolved a sixth sense to survive this new world. His own ability reveals the monster's hidden core. With a single burst of speed, he strikes. His team praises his incredible speed and skill, but he warns them this was only a low-level threat. Their true target is a cedar controlled by Chihua. His squad looks to him for the next command, but the survivor they just saved has been marked. The young woman pleads for her life. A squad mate declares she's infected and must be released, but the soldier aiming his rifle hesitates. Her final human moments are spent in terror. The infection consumes her, twisting her into a monster. It lunges at the soldier who failed to act. He starts to thank his captain for the save, but Ualay smashes a fist into his face. His hesitation was a fatal weakness. Ualay declares the woman died a monster, not human. The captain orders a 10-minute rest for the squad. The bruised soldier complains about the captain's harsh lesson. An older soldier explains the captain's behavior. His own girlfriend turned, and his hesitation led to disaster. A soldier notices the sky has suddenly gone dark. Ualay screams a warning as a colossal whip strikes. The attack obliterates the ground where they stood. Ualay's worst fear is realized. He's helpless again. A strange energy crackles in the dust and silence. A voice echoes from a strange reflection. In a distorted space, Ualay confronts a glowing figure. His eyes lock onto his mysterious target. He has finally found the one he was hunting. The being calls him number 17 in a stolen body. Her cold, reptilian eyes stare back silently. He charges forward, screaming in defiance, but she effortlessly summons a strange power. A horde of powerful monsters rises at her command. He knows he cannot fail, he must defeat them all. He taps into his slaughter instinct, ready to die. He becomes a whirlwind of blades, tearing through the horde. With the horde cleared, he leaps at his true target. But his sixth sense reveals the impossible. She has no core. Before he can process it, energy erupts from the ground. He's thrown back, his attack a complete failure. She looks down, holding a familiar trinket. He's stunned to hear her voice for the first time. A sudden cough reveals a horrifying truth. He's infected. He accepts his fate, apologizing to his lost love. He refuses to die a monster, with so much left undone. A lifetime of regrets flashes before his eyes. But beneath it all, one desperate desire remains. The voice of his lost love echoes in his mind. In death's embrace, a new chapter begins. They plan to harvest his unique sixth sense. A funeral is held for the fallen Dragon Claw team. In a lab, preparations begin to dissect Ualay's corpse. His body lies on a cold slab, awaiting the scalpel. But behind the surgeon, the dead man is rising. A blur of monstrous claws tears through the lab. He rips the surgeon's head clean off. But his rampage was all part of the plan. The man in charge is pleased with the results. He watches as Ualay collapses in agony. He orders an agent to capture Ualay alive. Ualay regains consciousness, confused and alone. He tries to piece together what just happened. He recalls his funeral, confirming his suicide worked. They stole his body to harvest his sixth sense. He focuses on the second, more confusing mystery. He died infected, yet was resurrected without mutating. He wonders what secret his lost love was hiding. His thoughts are cut short by approaching footsteps. The dead surgeon must have tripped an alarm. He analyzes their disciplined, military-style approach. Elite soldiers are closing in on his position. He calmly counts down their final approach. The ceiling erupts, sending the squad flying. Ualay lands in the chaos, ready for a fight. His eyes lock on, ready for the slaughter. His sixth sense reveals their fatal weak spots. He calls it a lesson as he disables the last man. But he knows these grunts have no useful intel. A surprise attack suddenly catches him off guard. A massive, glitching figure appears behind him. The creature reports Ualay has been neutralized. On the other end, the director gives his orders. The monstrous agent acknowledges its command. It then winds up for another devastating punch. A strange flame suddenly erupts from Ualay's arms. He realizes this power only activates in mortal danger. He abandons reason, fueled by his hatred for monsters. The director hears the commotion, confused by the fight. He suspects Ualay is somehow resisting his agent. On screen, the monster chokes Ualay in a force field. The creature taunts him, calling him a monster too. Ualay grins, accepting the creature's accusation. He roars that he is a monster, embracing his power. A mysterious woman watches, saying his power is awakening too soon. A dark power consumes him, a monster awakened. The agent recoils, its own form glitching in shock. He unleashes a devastating blast of raw energy. The director watches in disbelief, sweating bullets. He knows his entire plan has just gone up in smoke. This situation is far worse than he ever imagined. He orders the immediate self-destruction of the lab, but Ualay just smiles, reveling in his new power. From a distance, the mysterious woman continues to watch. The entire facility erupts in a massive explosion. The director confirms the lab's self-destruct is erasing all evidence, but his mind is still fixated on Ualay. He recalls the terrifying power our boy unleashed. Ualay's monstrous form resembled a high-level cedar. The director boards a helicopter, confident he's escaped. He's secured the vital blood samples from his experiments. He's eager to study the legendary dragon group sample. He breathes a sigh of relief, thinking he's safe. But a terrifying face appears outside his window. A dark projectile slams into the helicopter, engulfing it in flames. A phone rings, breaking the silence. A woman named Xiaoxu answers a difficult call. She's in denial about Ualay's funeral. Her friend insists he saw the body himself. She screams, refusing to accept he's gone. He promised he would always come back. A sudden crash shatters the quiet night. She knows guards won't arrive in time. She finds a chainsaw for self-defense. Armed and ready, she investigates the noise. She cautiously peeks around the corner. Her eyes widen in total disbelief. It's Ualay collapsed in her yard. Her mind flashes back to a happier time. He told his friend he was going to propose. His friend warned him the world was ending. But for Ualay, she was his world. He wanted to spend every last moment with her. He even had a special box for the ring. His friend jokes it's too ugly to use. He nervously clears his throat for the big moment. In the apocalypse, he wants to share every sunrise with her. He asks his love, Xiaobing, to marry him, but she stands silently, her back turned to him. She finally turns, whispering his name, but her form shifts into something monstrous. She asks if he can still love her now. The memory ends with his horrified scream. Ualay jolts awake, bound tightly in chains. Xiaoxu threatens him with a chainsaw for answers. She begins a rapid-fire interrogation to prove his identity. He perfectly recalls their first meeting as children. He answers every question about their shared past flawlessly. But she had one final, more scientific test. The DNA results confirm a near-perfect match. Overcome with relief, she throws her arms around him. Ualay softly tells her that he's finally home. She complains he smells awful after being gone so long. He's surprised to learn she now has a roommate. She reminds him he's been gone for over 6 months. He sheepishly promises to get her any materials she needs. The roommate arrives and Ualay introduces himself. He screams, mistaking her for his lost love, Xiaobing. He grabs the woman, demanding to know why she's here. He asks why she left him all those months ago. The painful memory completely consumes his mind, but she flips him, accusing him of being a pervert. Xiaoxu angrily tells them to take their fight elsewhere. The misunderstanding is cleared, but Ualay is stunned. She's Mo Ling, a soldier who looks just like Xiaobing. He admits Mo Ling's personality is nothing like his lost loves. Emotionally, he wishes she was Xiaobing, somehow returned. But rationally, he knows the infection is irreversible. He wonders if this is coincidence or a dragon group plot. Mo Ling recalls being covered in monster fluids on a mission. Suddenly, a monstrous centipede erupts from the ground. It's the mother centipede, seeking revenge for its young. As a new mother, the creature is at its most dangerous. Ualay immediately takes command as Dragon Claw's captain. He orders Xiaoxu on medical prep and Mo Ling on fire support. His eyes glow as he prepares to face the beast alone. Xiaoxu offers him a special chainsaw for the battle. He charges the colossal beast, chainsaw in hand. His sixth sense awakens, an instinct for pure slaughter. His ability reveals the core beneath its seventh carapace. With a roar, he slams the chainsaw into its weak spot. The blade tears through the creature's armored back. He shatters the shell, but the core isn't there. His perfect strike missed, the monster is still alive. He realizes a layer of larvae protected the true core. The enraged centipede lunges down to strike. Its massive jaws snap shut around him. The blow sends him flying through the air. He crashes to the ground, his arm bleeding. But a strange flame begins to heal the wound. His friends call out, but he clenches his fist. He decides to keep this new power a secret. Meanwhile, Mo Ling sees the disgusting larvae. Overcome with disgust, she readies a strange weapon. She incinerates the larvae, demanding an update. Ualay yells that he's trapped by the larvae. He uses his sixth sense to pinpoint the core's location. He orders Mo Ling to destroy it from a distance, but she panics, lacking a long-range weapon. Suddenly, the mother centipede shifts its focus. Ualay realizes its terrifying new target. It lunges directly for Xiaoxu. She screams as the monster closes in, but Mo Ling calmly calculates the perfect shot. She locks onto the core and unleashes a powerful blast. Ualay screams in horror, thinking she missed, but Mo Ling's eyes are cold and calculating. She declares that she never misses her target. The mother centipede is completely annihilated. A giant figure lands, asking if they're okay, but Xiaoxu is confused by the attack. The monster's behavior makes no sense. Ualay suddenly realizes the terrifying truth. He frantically demands to see a map. They're in a safe zone, the monster shouldn't be here. The city's outer defenses have officially been breached. He turns to Xiaoxu, asking for a full combat suit. She pauses, weighing the dangerous request. His new teammates mock his lone wolf attitude. She sarcastically suggests he can go fight naked, but her taunt only makes him smile. He agrees, deciding they'll all go together. He never thought he'd be on another mission. Now geared up, he hopes this time will be different. This time, he vows to protect the people around him. Search teams report on the helicopter crash site, but another team has secured the vital blood samples. A woman screams in denial, refusing to believe he's dead. The man she's yelling at faces a horde of monsters. He screams in defiance, refusing to accept Ualay's death. He remembers always looking up to his childhood friend. He recalls Ualay's dream to protect everyone. Over time, his friend's dream became his own. A single memory cuts through the chaos. He remembers them being promoted to lead a squad together. He became commander by default, a victory he despises. He remembers being stopped at Ualay's funeral. They told him to mourn properly and move on, but he never got the chance to beat his rival. That rage now fuels his fight in the present. From the wall, his soldiers watch him fight. They wonder about their commander's recent anger. Their forces are decimated, with no reinforcements coming. 3 days later, the situation is critical. His men are falling and HQ is still silent. He orders his men to retreat with the wounded. He ignores their warnings, pushing his body past its limits. He screams a challenge at the endless monster horde. His eyes glow, activating his extreme slaughter ability. He becomes a blur of red, charging into the fray. His blade cuts a path of destruction through the enemy. The monsters are instantly shredded by his attack, but the power fades after only 30 seconds. His body gives out, leaving him completely vulnerable. Facing the horde, Xiao Jinren prepares to die. He laughs, accepting his fate on the battlefield. This is the glorious death he always wanted. His heart finally stops beating. A monster lunges in for the final blow. His body is 95% destroyed, the pain overwhelming. His last thought is a desperate wish to see Xiaoxu, but a familiar voice cuts through the darkness. Ualay and his new squad have arrived. Slowly, his eyes begin to flutter open. A voice urges him to wake up. Xiao Jinren's squad celebrates his recovery. His first thought is for his men's safety. They immediately start teasing him about Xiaoxu. He gets flustered, denying everything, but they reveal she's been by his side for days. They mock his romantic cowardice, but he defends their bond. A soldier mentions the rescue that saved them all. He credits a new captain for turning the tide. Hearing this, Xiao Jinren forces himself out of bed. He orders a level 6 alert for an internal enemy, Ualay. The monster leader curses the reinforcements who foiled his attack. Cedar number 13 is furious at the swordsman who wiped out his horde. He'd thought the humans had already given up this position, but a new, elegant figure suddenly arrives. A woman with antlers taunts him for abandoning his post. She asks if his mysterious flower has bloomed yet. He angrily demands she show him some respect. She ignores him, repeating her question about the flower. As she walks away, he tries to call her back. He grins, inviting her to stay and watch the show. A memory reveals 3 young soldiers in their prime. Ualay stands firm, his duty clear and unwavering. But Xiao Jinren's face is filled with doubt. The past holds a brutal, unforgiving lesson. A mother begs for her child's life. The red-haired soldier argues it's just a minor scratch, but Ualay insists the infection is absolute. In an instant, the child twists into a monster. Xiao Jinren learns their squad's one brutal rule: no exceptions. Ualay's voice tries to break through his friend's horror. Xiaoxu admits she couldn't believe it at first, but the DNA test proves he is still human. Xiao Jinren insists he saw Ualay's dead body. He concludes the only way back is as a monster. Ualay listens, his expression unreadable. He accuses Xiaoxu of letting grief cloud her judgment. Ualay admits he can't explain what happened, but he swears his loyalty is to humanity. His rival scoffs at the claim from an infected man. He activates his power, vowing to end him for good. His slaughter instinct flares, ready for battle. Blades collide in a blinding flash of light. He screams, demanding to know why he's not trusted. His friend says this is to save his humanity, but Ualay refuses to listen, pushing him back. A giant boot stops the fight as Ualay screams her name. Xiaoxu stares in horror as her body dissolves. A dark presence reveals everyone is already infected. Xiao Jinren turns, completely stunned by the revelation. He looks down to see the infection consuming him too. Xiao Jinren blames a new commander for his soldiers' fate, but Xiaoxu insists Ualay would never be responsible. The truth dawns on Xiao Jinren in horrified silence. The commander's eyes reveal he knows the real cause. He realizes the cedar was behind it all. Its entire siege was a plot to infect their army. He screams, desperately searching for his soldiers. The infected Suzaku army arrives to answer his call. He gives one final order: activate self-incineration. They will die as humans, not as monsters. Xiao Jinren watches his army burn in horror. He screams as the infection claims his men. The flames trigger a painful, chaotic memory. He remembers Ualay fighting a different fire, a past failure where everything went wrong. He screams, forcing the memory away. He turns to Ualay with a final request. He makes Ualay promise to protect Xiaoxu. Ualay accepts, vowing to honor his friend. Xiao Jinren is consumed by the cleansing fire. His last words try to comfort a grieving Xiaoxu. He reminds her they were always prepared for this fate. He calls it an honor to die as himself. Ualay is once again forced to watch, completely helpless. The world dissolves, leaving him in a strange, white void. He scans the bizarre, empty landscape. Suddenly, his eyes lock onto something in the distance. A dark, burning ring hangs ominously in the sky. He stares up, wondering if it's a twisted sun. A featureless being appears, calling it a black hole. Ualay demands to know what this strange being is. It calls itself a guide to his deepest thoughts. Ualay is completely unimpressed by the eyeless figure. The being asks why he didn't use his power to save them. Ualay is frozen, unable to answer the question. The creature presses him, sensing his hesitation. It knows he's afraid of becoming a mindless monster again. It continues to expose his deepest, unspoken fears. It asks if failing to act makes him the real monster. Back in reality, the cleansing fire is being absorbed. The cleansing fire flows directly into Ualay's body. From a rooftop, Mo Ling wonders about the commotion. A new chapter begins in this twisted evolution. In a hidden lab, a test on Ualay's blood begins. The first experiment will test its resistance to heat. A scientist activates the high-temperature furnace. Intense flames engulf the mysterious blood sample. But even in the inferno, the sample remains intact. The temperature exceeds 1,000 degrees and keeps climbing. The lead scientist concludes the first phase of testing. The conclusion is clear: his blood absorbs immense heat. The ability persists, far beyond their current technology. Watching from a control room, a woman calls it a threat. She considers her next move in silence. She confirms Ualay is with the Phoenix Regiment. She asks for a status report on their location. The Phoenix Regiment's calls for aid have been intercepted. She crushes her candy, saying a flower will soon bloom. Her plan will eliminate everyone, a warning to all sides. Back with Ualay, that strange flame appears again. He finds this new, monstrous power almost comfortable. Xiaoxu asks if the man she knows is still there. He calmly reassures her that he's still himself. But Mo Ling steps forward, demanding a reason to trust him. He cheekily points out she can't kill him anyway. Her eyes narrow, ready to test that very theory. In a flash, they both lunge into combat. His transformed arm effortlessly blocks her blade, not even suffering a single scratch from the blow. He proves his point as her allies tell her to stand down. He asks Xiaoxu to study his new monstrous body. But another soldier's hand begins to glow. Ualay realizes he's the one who brought in the pollen. The soldier tries to deny the accusation, but Ualay has no time for his lies. He smashes a fist right through the traitor's chest. The soldier's human disguise shatters, admitting the truth. He transforms, revealing a monstrous fanged maw. The creature lunges but is kicked back by Ualay. He vows to settle the score with the true mastermind. A lone soldier calls out for a response. His eyes widen in terror at the sight. The entire area is a nest of monstrous plants. A creepy nursery rhyme echoes through the silence. A single dark seed falls from the sky. It immediately sprouts, taking root in the earth. The seed blooms into a terrifying monster. The two-seaters watch their creation bloom. She mocks him, unimpressed by its small size. He laughs it off, claiming this is just a sample. He reveals the dead have nourished this cursed land. Their sacrifice will create his most beautiful flower. Dark spores spread, blanketing the entire battlefield. Mo Ling looks up, asking if humanity is doomed. But a hand suddenly lands on her shoulder. Ualay tells her not to give up so easily. He insists that humanity still has a chance, because he and his new squad are still standing. The scene flashes back to a short time ago. Xiaoxu stares at a screen, stunned by the test results. She explains his cells can store and control thermal energy. He absorbed the cleansing fire, saving them from the pollen. Xiaoxu finds the discovery absolutely fascinating. He also has mutant strength and regenerates with heat. With enough thermal energy to fuel his body, she concludes he is now essentially immortal. Back in the present, a soldier calls out his name. The red-haired man admits he still can't fully trust him, but he'll fight alongside him while he's still human. He places a hand on his chest, offering his support. Ualay declares he's had enough of this. He knows high temperatures can destroy the pollen. With his new power, he has a plan. He launches himself like a fiery comet. His attack pierces the monstrous flower's core. He intends to burn the entire thing to ash. Flames erupt, consuming the massive plant monster. But the fire suddenly begins to recede. His squad watches in horror as his attack fails. From a distance, the cedar just laughs. The cedar mocks him, calling his fire attack naive. He orders Ualay to become fertilizer for his creation. His hand glitches with a dark, corrupting energy. He offers the Phoenix Regiment a chance to surrender. He promises them mercy if they join his ranks. It's their last chance to become one of his beastlords. But Ualay answers with another fiery project. He realizes he's used up all his absorbed energy. His squad jokes they couldn't even hear the offer. The cedar sees his grand speech completely ignored. The cedar's monstrous form erupts in fury. He screams, furious they dared to interrupt him. But the antlered woman warns him to be careful. She reveals this is the true commander, Ualay. Ualay cuts them off, tired of the talk. He declares that human soldiers never back down. The cedar just smirks at his bravery. He boasts about the countless soldiers he's killed. He recalls their dying screams and final regrets. In the end, they all became fertilizer for his flower. The cedar claims they don't understand why soldiers die, but Ualay declares they died to protect humanity. He explains that humans fight despite their fear. They fight for the thousands of families behind them. He says their sacrifice will be honored for generations. He says the cedar may look and sound human, but in his heart he is just a monster. Flames erupt as he forbids the cedar from speaking of martyrs. The monster is stunned by his furious conviction. He lowers his head, the words hitting their mark. The cedar's rage boils over, promising a swift death. A new monster horde appears, but Ualay is calm. He tells his squad to prepare for the fight. He reveals the cedar was just stalling for time, letting his flower absorb nutrients from the dead. He realizes the flower's purpose is to bear fruit. But Ualay was stalling too, for Xiaoxu's analysis. She reports they have 10 hours to destroy it. First, they must sever the 3 main roots. Then they can finally destroy the main stem. Ualay says they'll figure out how to cut the roots. He gathers the team, ready to give the plan. He, Xiao Jinren, and Mo Ling will split up to attack. That still leaves the problem of the monster horde, but his soldiers step up to hold the line. Xiaoxu returns his old battle suit for the mission. His eyes harden, ready for the coming battle. He rallies the troops, promising they'll all go home. The soldiers laugh as he vows to avenge their deaths. His helmet snaps into place, ready for war. The 3-person strike team charges into the fray. Xiao Jinren's blade flashes, cutting into the beast horde. He sprints ahead, determined to lead the charge. He's focused on thinning their numbers to save his men. But he soars over a sea of terrifying creatures. Ualay reminds him this is why he chose this path. His rival angrily retorts that he never listens. Xiaoxu scolds him for showing off while still recovering. Mo Ling laughs, amused by their constant bickering. She admits she finds fighting alongside them exciting. Ualay checks in with Mo Ling over the comms. She reports her path is clear, too clear. He warns her to be careful and not push herself. She snaps back, telling him to focus on himself. He realizes he's treating her like his lost love. Her voice makes him question if she's really gone. His squad teases him for his sudden silence. But Xiao Jinren has reached his target, a massive root. He grins, ready to take on the monstrous plant. Mo Ling finds her own target, disgusted by its form. Ualay smirks, impressed by their coordination. Xiao Jinren challenges him to a killing contest. Their 6 senses are fully awakened. Each warrior unleashes their unique slaughter ability. Xiaoxu warns them not to be so reckless. Pollen in a wound can still cause infection. She identifies Xiao Jinren's target as a spider monster. Its ancestral form is incredibly venomous. But he scoffs, confident one slash is enough. Xiaoxu finishes her analysis, turning to Ualay's situation. They try to contact Mo Ling but get only silence. Xiaoxu reports that Mo Ling's signal has vanished. He demands her location, warned of a new life form. The words new life form echo in his mind. A terrible suspicion about her identity surfaces. He races toward her last known coordinates. The path is suspiciously clear of any monsters. He questions why the cedars left him an open path. It means a far more powerful guardian is waiting. A voice taunts him as a new enemy strikes. The antlered woman taunts him as an outdated model. But his mind flashes back to her past. He remembers her joining his squad as a comrade. Mo Ling watches, a terrible thought forming. She believed the dragon group was making clones, but Ualay now knows they are all unique. He calls out to her using Xiaobing's name. His resolve hardens for this moment. She's surprised he hasn't attacked her yet. He declares that this time will be different. He unleashes his power in a fiery explosion. He admits he's become a monster, but he's still himself. He demands to know why she changed and what she did to him. Her glowing eyes warn him that this can't go on. She raises a hand, crackling with dark energy. She unleashes a blade of energy directly at Ualay. But his blade intercepts the attack at the last second. He catches the falling Mo Ling, demanding answers. She coldly declares that he is far too weak. She says he's not yet worthy of the truth. He's stunned by Mo Ling's strangely carefree attitude. He turns to the cedar with one final question. Is she Xiaobing or the monster Ling Zu? Her face is cold, her old self completely gone. She confirms her new identity is Ling Zu. Ualay grips his sword, accepting the harsh truth. He vows to treat her as the enemy she is. With a furious roar, he charges in for the kill. But Ling Zu calmly prepares her counterattack. Their powers collide in a devastating explosion. A streak of fire and energy tears across the ground. Ualay brings his flaming blade down on Ling Zu. Their powers collide in a blinding, violent flash. But her hand stops his blade with a single touch. She taunts him, saying this is their first real fight. He asks if she remembers how they first met. Ling Zu's cold eyes confirm that she does. He says this moment is just like that one. She unleashes a blast, sending him flying back. She disagrees, claiming this time is different. She declares he is completely outmatched now. Ualay calmly agrees that she is right. He remembers Xiaoxu giving him incendiary grenades. His sixth sense is useless against her power. He'll see what happens when his heat energy overloads. Ling Zu watches, intrigued by his final gambit. He wonders what will become of him in this state. His body erupts in a torrent of golden flames. With burning eyes, he challenges her to round 2. The battle pauses as a new chapter begins. The memory shifts to a simpler, happier time. His squad teases him about his girlfriend not accepting yet. On the phone, Xiaobing says she's leaving for a mission. She promises it's safe, but the details are classified. The scene cuts to her mission, a suspicious research institute. She reports her findings, but HQ is completely silent. The memory returns to their final phone call. She promises to give him an answer when she returns. His squad mates mock his lovesick smile after the call. A week later, she's gone and an urgent alert comes in. Ualay is briefed on a new target, Cedar 17. The mission is a disaster level 8. Its power seems to be temperature control. They are cleared to use lethal force. The order is simple, eliminate the target. But a cedar in a research lab is suspicious. He realizes with horror which lab it is. Inside, a storm of ice has frozen everything. At its center, a white-haired figure waits. He realizes too late that her mission was a trap. He screams, demanding to know why she hid this. He roars that he should have been there with her. But her power creates a domain of absolute zero. Her eyes are cold, devoid of any emotion. He demands an answer, but she remains silent. An icy beast forms at her command. She looks down on him, completely unmoved. Her ice clashes with his overwhelming fire. He reminds her of their promise to face everything together. But her power expands, threatening to consume him. She gathers a chilling, corrupted energy. Her power shatters the air around them. Her eyes are cold but hold a deep sorrow. A sphere of absolute zero forms above her. The woman he loved is completely gone. She closes her eyes, accepting her new reality. She laments the simple life they can never have. But his fire erupts, refusing to be extinguished. He smiles, his resolve hardening into a vow. This time, he swears he won't let her go. The rain falls on the ruined city. He asks why she's suddenly hesitating. Ualay demands to know why she stopped. She asks if they can ever go back. Nearby, Mo Ling wakes up in the rain. She sees the standoff and feigns sleep. From afar, their fight is being monitored. The woman with the lollipop gives an order. She wants to know what Ling Zu is saying. The two former lovers stand in silence. Ualay tries to reach the woman he once knew. She rejects her old name, now a cedar monster. She tells him to let her go, to be a hero. He should consider her dead and move on. But Ualay takes a step forward, crossing the line she drew in the sand. He challenges her idea of his justice. His justice was always about protecting her. He refuses to go back, only forward together. She looks at him, asking if he trusts her. He demands to know what happened in that lab. She recalls infiltrating the facility after their call. she made her way to the lowest level. There she found a lab filled with monster bodies. But these were no ordinary monsters. Some of the creatures were even human-shaped. Ualay is horrified by the revelation. She says the data confirmed they had human consciousness. And even worse, some containers were empty. He doesn't understand the terrifying implication. She reveals one empty container had his name on it. The truth hits him like a physical blow. He asks if the human monster experiments were a success, but she says the worst was yet to come. Deeper in the lab, she found a strange light. A mysterious, masked figure appeared before her. Their golden eyes stared out from the shadows. They stood before a swirling vortex of raw data. A being of pure energy was taking form. It was a conscious entity trapped in a massive tube. The entity was a small, horned girl. Ualay is stunned. She saw the second Seater's corpse. But as she tried to access the lab's data, suddenly his slaughter talent flares to life. A corrupted shadow hand smashes down on them. He pulls her away, shocked by the Seater's power. He holds her close, shielding her from the blast. A new voice claps, impressed by Captain Ualay. A scarred man praises the man who came back from the dead. His stitched face twists into a deeply unsettling smile. The scarred man casually greets the commander. He mocks Ualay for siding with a Seater. He wonders aloud if this makes Ualay a traitor. But the man's twisted smile says it doesn't matter. His speech is cut short by a sudden, violent impact. Ualay's flaming sword is already in his hand. He declares his choices are not for him to judge. The scene shifts. A commander learns Ualay's corpse is missing. His subordinate admits they dug up the grave on a tip. The commander explodes, demanding a better explanation. The Dragon Corps commander demands to know why they dug up his grave. His subordinate reports a rumor that Ualay mutated and revived. The commander roars, defending the honor of a fallen hero. An urgent call interrupts his furious tirade. He's summoned to an emergency meeting about the situation. He hangs up the phone with a heavy sigh. He considers the terrifying possibility that the rumor is true. A memory flashes back to a young Ualay, reporting for duty. They fought side by side, a master and his prize student. He remembers promoting Ualay, now fearing the trouble ahead. The Human Alliance Defense Council convenes a supreme meeting. A new commander arrives, greeting the other officials. The Secretary General prepares to start the meeting. But another member interrupts with a more urgent matter. The Chief of the Abyss asks Commander Du about Ualay. The commander confirms Ualay died a hero on a mission. But the chief claims his intelligence says otherwise. He reveals Ualay now has the powers of a sower. The council erupts in shock at the accusation. A director questions how a sixth sense user became a sower. He claims Ualay destroyed a research facility nearby, but Director Tang insists they have no base there. A white-haired woman smirks at the convenient denial. President Yu calls a secret research lab a frightening thought. The director senses an accusation in her words. He asks if she thinks he's hiding his own research. No, she accuses him of hiding it from the council. An elder official cuts them off, demanding focus. He turns to Secretary Tao, asking for his judgment. He proposes making Ualay a human enemy, to be killed on sight. Commander Du explodes, demanding proof of betrayal. But the Chief of the Abyss scoffs at his ignorance. He reminds them Ualay's girlfriend is now a Seater. He twists the knife, blaming them for past failures. The commander is left seething at the accusation. He slams his fist, roaring that Ualay is a hero. He lists Ualay's countless victories for humanity. Another official agrees it's too soon for this judgment. The other human enemies had proof of their crimes. An urgent alarm cuts them off. Ualay has been spotted. He reveals the first human enemy has been found. Bai Yijin has resurfaced in the same region as Ualay. The Chief of the Abyss suddenly silences a subordinate. He warns her to keep quiet about what she knows.